Well, there's like a delay, I think. Look at that. Woo! Nice. We're looking professional, huh? Are we live? It did show up. It's live. Let's check that out. All right, everybody. We are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And we got a little bit of a show today for you. Just kind of really not a lot going on. There's so much going on in the world today. I'll tell you, like a part of the Sober Voyager idea is that, we're talking about recovery. We're talking about just life, and earlier we were talking about, so let me just introduce my guests right now. We got Andrew and we got Jack. And one of the things that I wanted to kind of be super stoked on is that we're actually on air and we got like a little podcast studio. And I've had this like for a while now, and I swear to God, one of the craziest things is that one of the problems about being in recovery is like there's all these underlying causes of my addiction problems, and one of them is ADHD. Like I can't stay focused if my fucking life depended on it, like almost to my demise. And that's kind of like I think one of the hardest things for an addict and alcoholic to get to terms with is like once he takes the alcohol and drugs out of his system, then he's got to deal with life, right? And then you throw in. Say hi to, let's see, hold on a second. Let's go. We're on. Oh, you guys can all see. That's Theo right there. If anybody wants to kind of check out Theo, he's our newest addition to the team over here. He's super rad. He's how old is Theo?
He's like 3 months.
3 months. He's got a little, like, don't touch his wiener there. Like he's a little boy. He's hung. So we got say hi to Andrew. You guys see him a lot. He's at Surf City Recovery. Andrew's the program director, and these guys both were clients. This is Jack, and he's kind of our ladies man, I guess we call him. He's the ladies man. Oh, I don't talk about that, right? He's the ladies man for sure. Yeah, they love Jack. I mean, literally crazy. Yeah, but we won't get into that either. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. If we're like right now, if you're out there, we're like looking at our cameras right now. We're looking at ourselves, checking ourselves out. So if you want, there's a button right here. Here's the first thing: like, subscribe, and share this video. We're gonna only stay on Facebook for a while because we don't want to burn out the Facebook people for a long time. Because the goal is on March 4th, we got Dr. Rehab coming in. And he's Dr. Rehab, Dr. I don't have his real name is, I forget his real name already, but yeah. So, ADHD. I can't remember that stuff. I was watching Jack Reacher last night. You never seen Jack Reacher? He's like a Tom Cruise actor. Tom Cruise plays the character Jack. The movie, the actual movie. You didn't like the movie?
He's too small to play him.
Yeah, but what do you mean?
Have you seen the show with the new guy?
I don't like that guy. He's kind of goofy. Why is that?
It's big and huge.
Yeah, but he's not cool.
I think he's cool. He's Blue Mountain State guy.
Check it out. Yeah. So it was a good movie though. But the reason I brought that up was because he apparently, because he's like super like army guy, super badass guy, and it's a photographic memory. And he's 5'4". No, Tom Cruise like 5'10", right? He's not.
He's a small guy.
He is? Dude, we need to look that up. We need to be able to. The Google guy. Well, we got Google right here. Now we just forget Google. Do AI guy. Put Theo on the table and see what he does.
5'7".
Oh, really?
5'7".
No way. That is little. He looks bigger than that. You know who else is really short?
You gotta make sure he doesn't jump off, though. Don't let him spill your coffee.
Yeah, look at that little cute guy. He just wants to roam the realm. Look, say hi. Oh
my goodness.
We don't want to get him all jacked up. He'll like, because he's just licking things around. Look at that.
Theo.
Look, he's like going, hey, what is that? What do you guys think of Theo? Leave comments below if you love Theo. Theo's an awesome dog. What are you doing, Jack? Jack's stretching because he's got he's a young man with a sciatic thing going on right now. So yeah, we're just cruising at the Surf City Recovery Treatment Center here in Huntington Beach, California, and so our core competency obviously has been always young men between ages of 18 and I guess 26, huh? How old were you when you first got here?
I think the first time I came through here, I was like
21.
21. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And then what about you, Jack? 19. Say that louder.
19. Little baby. Fucking child.
Child, hold on. Let's see. That's me. Let's see. Let's go through the camera. Let's run. Oh, there it is, right there. That's preview. There you go. We need some more light. I'm gonna go ahead. You guys go ahead and share a little bit. I'm gonna pull the camera back just a little bit. Let's do. We're doing a little. Yeah. How's that? There we go. And then we should probably light. Jack up looks dark over there in the back.
I think he looks great.
You do? Yeah. Put a little light on it. Let's see how much does this look better.
Are you gonna hold it there?
How's that?
I think now we got too much. That's too much light.
Huh?
Yeah, that's too much.
How's that look, everybody?
I don't know about that.
Angels.
It looks worse now.
How about that? Like, I can have Steven come in here. And
Just hold it.
I can have. Look. How about this?
Yeah, have Steven come in and hold it the whole
What about like that? Looks good right there. Huh? Look at that.
Yeah?
No.
I thought it was looking
I thought it
pretty
was
good the way it was.
That looks good right there, huh? Steven? Like, look at that. What do you think, you guys? That looks pretty good, huh? That's what we need to like. Look, because if you go like that, look how dark that is.
We need a piece of rope.
Look
and
how
it's
dark
hanging
that
from
one.
the ceiling.
Look at that right there. That's pretty good.
Why don't you just turn that one?
Huh? Which one?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking
The one above you.
What are you talking about, Jack? Here, I got an idea. Here. So, anyway,
I think that looks pretty good.
right there?
Yep, just like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, no.
That's better than, yeah, that is good. Okay. There we go. So, yeah, what is a. So what were we talking about? Hey, so what's going on? Like, 21 when you got here. Jack was how old? 19. What was going on with you at 19?
Just a loser.
You were a loser, huh?
Had nothing.
Well-
All my friends graduated high school and went to college.
Okay, your mic's way too far away from you.
You gotta put it in your mouth.
Literally. Yeah. Here, how about we go like. How about we
Can't
move-
get much closer than that.
If we go, how about we go? And then we put it right there.
Well, now it's farther away.
I know, but we're gonna put it in right here in this spot. Ah,
Oh, there we go. Now you're looking good.
how's that?
Jack's mic is like not good.
Oh, it's not okay because you know what? The volume's probably
Not good. Is mine good?
I hear Jack.
all right. His volume isn't even on.
Very quiet.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
there we go. Now let's do
Wow.
another test run. Go ahead, hit your. Oh, you know why? Because it's not even plugged in. Hey, hello. Wait a minute. We got. Let's see.
Amateur hour.
Okay, now.
I think
try.
we have a podcast studio or something.
How we doing now? Go out. Go and check the sound.
Test. Oh, now look at that. Now it's going.
Now it's going right.
I see that.
All right.
That's only mic one though.
So they should. No, that's good. They're all running right now. So in the end, let's just do a. Yeah, it only will ever show mic 1 or 2 and like that. The so from here, let's look at. Yeah, see, I don't need to see your face too much on that. Hold on. How to get to camera me? All right.
Hey, you're Jack dead now.
Okay, perfect.
All
So
right.
yeah, and so even your mic, you want your mic always to be right here. So there's one thing you should know about our channel here at the Sober Voyager is that we're every single day we're trying to figure out how to do the podcast. We still, this is my biggest problem in life, I think, is I'm terrible. I mean, I don't even know how I got here sometimes. Jeez. You know, it's a miracle, bro. So yeah, we don't want to scare anybody away, but at the end of the day, you know, the goal is to share the journey of recovery, where, you know, and just really kind of like life, you know, getting into treatment early, like we were talking about our core competency at Surf City Recovery. One of the things that is important is that we've always kind of had a smaller homey vibe, so to speak, where it's a little bit more intimate than say like, you know, big treatment centers where it's more like a puppy mill, where there's, you know, good stuff that happens at those places for sure. But what is, of all the places that, you know, you guys hear that? That's more problems. Somebody else over there, grab my phone. Hey, what, you know, speaking, I was doing this. Where's Ben?
Ben.
Ben. Greg's Ben.
Oh, I don't know. Ontario.
Yeah. Where's,
He's in Ontario?
no. Let's see who this is. Hello, it's Rich at Surf City Recovery. How can I help you? Oh, hey, so yeah, if you want to call, hey, here's another thing. Check this out. Let's just see if we can get somebody to call in because I think if you're, yeah,
This camera shows like a little bit more of it behind you.
then go ahead and adjust it. Yeah, readjust it. Oh, yeah, I see that. Go ahead and tweak it out. You might have to back it up just a little bit.
How's that?
Yeah, that looks good. I think I moved it. Man, that's a good looking quality picture right now.
Yeah, because it was like I see a lot of the tree in the curtain, but less of Andrew's shoulder.
You know what I was just thinking about earlier? I'm talking to the microphone really super deep. I was just talking to somebody. I remember here's something that either, when what's the catalyst? Tell us about, I was talking to Jack earlier, like, thinking about the catalyst, the thing that, what happened that got you to say, other than, I kind of know, like I said, I could share your story for you, but I want you to share it. Because how old are you now?
I'll be 27 this
You'll be
month.
27. You came here originally when you're 19. You currently work here. You're like the assistant program director, case manager. You guys are all hands on deck players, basically. But I think the most important thing to do is to recognize that the value of having young men actually having gone through the program, actually rebuilt their lives here. You're from Missouri. Sorry about that. And you're from?
Aliso Viejo.
Ooh, I was going to say now, that's hitting a bottom. No, I'm just kidding. Missouri, Aliso Viejo. So what happened, Jack? What happened to you?
How far back do you want me to go?
Let's see.
Like when I came at 19, it wasn't like my choice. It kind of was, but like it wasn't like this last time.
Yeah.
Where like I reached out for help. I got sent by mom. I had a childhood friend that was a client at the time, but I don't know. I think I just loved drinking too much at a young age. Like I got drunk for the first time when I was 13. My brother was the perfect age. He was a senior when I was a freshman. I got to hang out with all the older kids and stuff, and I got drunk for the first time at 13. I remember just fucking like loving it, dude. Like that was it. Like I found what I was looking for, and I know everyone says that, but from that point on, it became like I always say, it was like the partying of the seas, like school, baseball, skateboarding, everything went to the wayside. And then like at the other end was just alcohol. And I was like, how are we going to get alcohol? So we're going to steal it. We're going to hit up an older kid to get it for us. Am I going to rely on my brother? Like we need to get it. And I was that kid at 14 where all my friends were calling me an alcoholic. And I didn't know what an alcoholic was at the time. Because like I was the guy that just was blacking out all the time. And, me and my brother, when we were like teenagers, like we first started bonding over alcohol. That's when we first started bonding. Like we got along as kids, we fought and stuff, but like first time like we really started hanging out was over alcohol and weed and stuff. And I remember he graduated and then he left the military, and I didn't have a dad in my life, so like it was like fuck, the first guy I looked up to is now gone again. Oh. And now it was like he's gone. I'm just alone at home with mom, and me and my mom had a great relationship, but now it's like alcohol is the main priority now because I don't have anyone to keep me in check, my brother. Now it's like, let's just get drunk. And I remember being 15, like my mom had a boyfriend at the time going to Havasu, and like, dude, like there would be like fucking 28-year-olds at my house. Like I don't even know who they were, like just fucking dumb shit. And I don't know, it just became like a priority in my life, and nothing mattered. Like didn't really think about the future much at all. Like didn't try to prepare my life. Like I was saying at the beginning, like a lot of kids I went to high school with, they graduated and went off to college, and I was working at a sandwich shop down the street from my mom's house. Just drinking on shift, doing cocaine on shift. Like
that's what you meant by loser.
Yeah. And
but you had a job at least.
I had a job.
You did have a job. That's not being a loser.
I was always able to hold a job when I was drinking, but it was like
Andrew's another story.
Yeah. But I don't really remember what happened too much, like leading up to it. It was just a lot of drinking. Broke up with my ex at the time, got like real depressed, and then I was drinking to feel better. That's when I started drinking to feel better, was when we broke up. And I remember like I'd be hammered, like coming home at like 4 a.m. and then like talking to my mom saying I need help and stuff. And then I'd wake up the next morning and she'd like mention help, and I'd be like, fuck all that. I'm going to work. I don't need help. And then It was New Year's Eve. I forgot 2017 New Year's Eve, and I remember we were out doing drugs and drinking, and
Drugs.
got home at 4 or 5 a.m. and I was just on FaceTime with people until like 9 a.m. Just like hear the birds chirping and stuff. Like couldn't sleep, just like out of my mind. And then I finally crash out, and my mom wakes me up at 1 o'clock, and like I start screaming at her because it's her fault that I'm late for work. And she's just like, "You're not going to work." And then Surf City's on the phone saying you're going to a detox, and that's how I ended up at Surf City. And then that's like really where the journey of recovery began, was right at that moment.
So, like, one of the things that I used to do when I was a kid, and I'd be up all night on cocaine, doing the same thing that you're talking about when I was a young kid, like that, still living in my bedroom upstairs at my mom's house, coming home late at night, drunk, had been partying, been doing a bunch of blow all night long. And I don't know. I was wondering, did you guys do this where you'd be trying to get to sleep, and the sun's coming up, so you just take blankets and you just like cover up your bedroom window? Did you guys never
I had
did that?
blackout curtains.
You had blackout curtains.
Yeah.
So I always had to get my blankets. I always had blankets, and I had nails on the ceiling right above the thing, and I'd be like, blanket the window. That was the go-to. Every time I came home, I would do blanket the window, and that became the look of my bedroom. There was always blanket hanging over the window, and it just was because I couldn't get to sleep if the light was coming through. Even though I didn't go to sleep, I just wanted it dark inside there. It's so funny.
You were talking about like the ADHD thing, like you're like ADHD, like that's your problem. Like for me, like laziness and procrastination is my problem. Like if I was to drink right now, I'd get real motivated to do some shit. Like it motivates me, it fires me up, and then living without it, that's like one of the struggles. Is like, how do I find that motivation now? Because like alcohol, it doesn't, for me, it was never like when I was young, sure, but like when I was holding jobs and stuff, like it fired me up. I was ready to fucking go at all times. Let's do this. Let's fucking handle it. Let's go. And then I turned into the social guy and stuff. And then without it, now it's like, fuck, I don't want to do shit.
So yeah, thinking about that for a minute, it's like, so you're like 100% alcoholic and throwing some cocaine and stuff like that for party drugs, but
it was always alcohol.
It was always alcohol. And for Andrew, it was everything, but primarily what you wake up. Yeah, opiates and benzos, alcohol. Not so much. Now that's my thing. I mean, I
do it, but I would regret it every time.
The only time I really enjoyed alcohol was when I was on probation or parole, and I couldn't. They were testing me for alcohol, but they weren't. I mean, testing me for drugs, but not testing me for alcohol. That was when I discovered the awesome power of alcohol. But I think going back to what Jack was talking about, it's interesting how we all react differently, But because when a lot of people the other day, I was talking about this, what makes you alcoholic is because Jack said something that was important. And this is like one of the things that families, people are, when they take alcohol into their system, all of a sudden they get fired up, right? You become the person that you always wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like you're quiet and reserved and shy when you're not drunk and not motivated, lazy, just moping around. As soon as you get some alcohol in your system, it's like, let's go.
Me and Andrew were talking about a couple weeks ago, like, he cracking little jokes like, do I need to test you? And I was like, dude, you guys would know if I was drinking if I came in here, because I'd be way more energetic. Like I'd be like all over the place.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, let's go. What's going on? You'd be acting like me.
That's how like I wouldn't come in here like, I don't know. It fires you up for me.
Right.
That's just what it does.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to. I think it's not really interesting. It's really kind of classic 101, right? It always does something for us that I've always like alcohol and drugs. Like when you're a little kid, it's like you want to fit in, be a part of the party, and you can't dance or have fun. Remember, you were talking about this. It's like Andrew doesn't dance, but if he drinks alcohol, he's like, yeah, let's go.
And it's like the thing. It's so. I mean, it's the quick fix, right? It's it's the elixir to like, if I'm uncomfortable and like not happy and like I want to like motivation or get fired up or have fun, like I'd take a shot of alcohol,
Yeah.
I'll get drunk and then like the world's rainbows. It's all amazing. But like, who wants to do the 12 steps and get through that shit the long way, Like I don't want to do that. I want the quick fix.
Right.
Quick fix is alcohol. And that's why for me, it was so hard to let go of.
Yeah.
And then, when I was talking about with the ex-girlfriend and stuff, using it as like an aid, it eventually just turned into that. You know, it just turned into like, I need this to make me feel better. This is like a tool that just makes me feel good. And now it's not, there's no, like the last 3 years of my drinking, there's no fun in it.
Right.
People, my friends weren't calling me to come hang out and drink at their apartments because they knew I'd fuck shit up.
Yeah.
You know, I was a problem. I didn't drink like they did,
You're a nightmare.
you know?
Hey, hand me that piece of paper right there really quick. I want to see something. Steven, like one of the things we're kind of like trying to stick to the script lately, you know, there's so what we're talking about is the part where it's like what it was like, right? That's like how we got here, you know, at 19. What are some other like did you have mental health issues or what was going on? Did you ever try to commit suicide or were you ever thinking of stuff like that or what? What was that? What was going on in that area growing up as a kid?
I mean, I definitely dealt with depression as a kid. I remember like the first time I was told like I might be dealing with depression is like, I think I was a sophomore and my mom would come home from work at, you know, it was right after my brother left, you know, and my mom would come home from work at like 6, 7, and she'd come home and I'd be on the couch with all the blinds shut in the house. Like it's dark, just watching TV or something. And, you know, from that point on, it was like, all right, here's the pills, you know, here's the antidepressants, you're depressed. And, you know, granted, I was smoking weed every day and like just as like a 15-year-old kid, like not trying to brag, but like it was just, I was in the burnout crew. It was just weed every day, drinking when we could. Like that's, and no physical activity. That's going to have an effect on your mental health, you know, and then sitting in the dark. And so that's kind of where it started. And, you know, I dealt with depression for a while. And then, you know, my depression was always at the highest though when I was drinking heavily. You know, it was always at the highest. And then I'd get sober, the depression would lighten up, and then I wouldn't work the steps or nothing, and the depression would come back while I'm sober, and then I'd drink again. It was just like that cycle.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been 5150 for suicidal ideations. You know, I've tried, you know, half-ass attempts at suicide. You know, when I start drinking, especially now, it's like, it's just that hopelessness. Like, I'm not going to be able to get out of this shit. You know, especially, I'm the kind of guy that stays sober for 9 months. I've taken a year before, 11 months. And so when you stay sober for that long and then you drink again, it's like, fuck, this doesn't work. Or at least that's what my head's telling me. Because I never really did the steps, never sponsored anyone before. I was able to stay dry through treatment. And my treatment runs were usually like 9 months, 10 months.
What kind of sports did you do growing up?
Baseball.
Baseball, so you weren't very good at
Baseball and skateboarding. I was pretty good at it.
Oh, were you? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I never played high school though, because like I said, right around 8th grade, that's when like all that shit went to the side. And the important stuff was, let's get fucked up. You know, let's party. That was the important stuff. Because that, in my mind, I saw that as way more rewarding than playing baseball. It made me feel a lot better than playing baseball. You know? No, drinking.
Oh, drinking. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
drinking. Yeah. Drinking's way better than baseball. Baseball sucks.
Became way more
No,
important.
I'm just kidding. Baseball doesn't suck. Youth sports are great, actually.
And then around that same time, I grew up skateboarding. I started skating when I was like in 4th grade and loved it. And then I got into that crew with skateboarding. I just remember, you know, like
You're
it
part
was
of
like
the 90. What, you were born in 98. 98.
And with us, it was like
Damn.
probably like 6 of us that like all were pretty like good at skateboarding for our age, but you could just like looking back, you can see us all just start to dwindle into drugs and alcohol. Like that became more important, you know. And then before we knew it, we weren't really skating. We were just held up in my buddy Ace's room, you know him.
Yeah.
And just getting fucked up. And now none of us are skateboarding. We're just getting high and drunk. And but going back to the depression, it was definitely an issue early on, for sure.
What are so the journey to the addiction? So it's kind of just there's like a theme here. Let's talk about. So you didn't have a. So no dad, right?
No dad.
No dad in the house. And then we got kind of like a oops. Well, check that out. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's trauma. Then we got let's go to Andrew. See that? That's the way to do it. A little close up, right? That's pretty good. Huh? Look at that. That's pretty good stuff. We're right there. Give us a little bit about your because you guys kind of got a little bit of a similar story on that.
Both our moms are named Jill.
Both of your moms are named Jill.
That's about as similar as it gets.
And then what else?
No dad. I mean, no dad and family. I mean,
You tortured him, probably.
Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah. But and you guys also got he's got Gus and you got Theo.
Yeah.
You guys both your mom's names are Jill. That's interesting, huh?
I think I don't know. We just connected pretty quickly when I got here the first time. Jack was already here, and there was a good group of guys here at that time, and the guys were pretty tight together. It wasn't like weird drama or like stuff. We just kind of were hanging out, having fun,
Yeah.
and it just went from there. And then over time, me and Jack coming back, I think we were clients multiple times. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, and then,
Pretty sure.
And then I was here working here, and I had a couple years sober, and Jack showed back up, and then he's kind of been tight ever since. And we just relate on similar interests in music, skateboarding, drinking, stuff like that. And we just kind of
He doesn't like Bob Dylan though.
yeah,
He's not a fan of Bob Dylan.
I guess there's some music that he hates.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Old stuff.
Old stuff, yeah. The
And we just got connected with the same group of people in AA, so that makes it easier too. Just mutual friends too.
yeah. Yeah.
Work together, then we lived together for a year.
The journey of recovery is a cool thing, and once you kind of get on it,
It is if they stay sober. It's a cool thing. But there's also the other side of people that you care about that just can't figure it out.
yeah.
So there's two sides.
That had to be pretty scary for you moving in with me because I had like what 11 months at the time. Did it go through your head like, am I making a mistake? Am I fucking up a little?
I don't know. I think I've always been good at just going with the flow.
Just-
Yeah, fuck it, let's try it. I was living with Froggy and that was cool, but I was just renting a room. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the idea of like, putting my name on a lease and having a place was like
Scary.
No,
Huh?
it was like I wanted to do that. I wanted to take the
Oh, you wanted to be, yeah. I remember when you got your first credit card. You like really kind of, both you guys kind of grew up here. Like,
Yeah, fuck.
I mean,
bank account.
I know,
credit
everything.
score. I didn't have a credit score, period. I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
And each year, at least the first 3 years, it was like each year there was a big move. I mean, year 2, I moved out of sober living, lived with Froggy for a year.
Yeah.
Moved into the apartment. And the next year, Jack moved out, the chick moved in. So each year, there's like big changes.
Big changes. And what's interesting is you didn't put the cart before the horse. You managed to keep first things first. That's what was important, really, is you did take the time to build the foundation that everybody knows is probably the hardest thing to do is be patient because we want to get the things really quick. We want to put the cart before the horse. And I think this time one of the things both you guys did was just say yes and fell in line and kind of did all the things that you had never done before, you started actually doing. And that's really what the difference is. And it's really, honestly, from my perspective, watching guys go from zero, like literally less than zero, not in a Robert Downey Jr. sense, if you watch that movie. You guys ever watch the movie Less Than Zero? Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. It's an old movie, but it's a good movie. It's kind of like the 80s. I don't know. I think it's more like it's like what was going on during the 80s. Cocaine was a big deal. And, it was definitely my generation for sure. And less than zero. It's like when you go and you'll do anything for drugs type of thing, And, but when you come out of that and then can start rebuilding your life, get a credit score, get a credit card, get a car payment, get your own apartment. It's so beautiful to see. That's the greatest gift that there is in recovery is when we see people's lives transform. And then more importantly, when we see it maintain the transformation, that's the goal constantly. Because we know that if you're a real alcoholic, we forget, right? We'll forget the pain and suffering, all that kind of stuff, it kind of can go away pretty fast. So what's the new thing for you on the block right now? What are you trying to accomplish in life?
You need to get in shape. That's the focus right now.
Oh,
Dude.
yeah,
Start
yeah.
eating good, treating the body good, and just feeling good.
Yeah.
That's the next goal.
What about you, Jack?
Same thing.
Same thing. We're kind of laughing at you guys about it. It's like
It's kind of like everything right now. School, like it goes back to that laziness thing, trying to find the motivation to do it,
yeah.
and the school, like Andrew said, like every year has been something cool that's happened. And I think that's very important for people in early recovery. Take the first year, focus on your recovery, get through the steps, like really learn about Alcoholics Anonymous or, whatever 12-step program you decide to do. Really learn about it and get into a position where you can help other people. But every year's been something. Like Andrew said, the first year I got through the steps for the first time, and then got the first apartment, got the dog, then moved in with the lady, and now it's kind of seeing where that's gonna go.
Yeah, your first year was pretty big.
A lot of shit happened.
A lot happened.
I mean, not to get too much into it, but I knew it was like my last chance if I wanted to stick around here. I knew I wasn't in a position where like I could really pick and choose what I was gonna do.
What's funny is you guys both had moments in the lobby where when Andrew walked in the door after just getting here from the airport, like when he walked in the door, the look, his whole demeanor, and just the I don't know, just the hollow blank look that was like had just overcame you. Like you just become this complete shell when they talk about a shell of a person. And I've seen you in different stages of your disease and your addiction and in your recovery. But when you walked in that door, it's like it was just like there's this sense of relief that you made it. I remember just thinking, oh my God, I'm so grateful for that. But then there was this look that you had, that look of a shell of a man. And it was in the lobby. And Jack had the same kind of experience when you walked in the door this last time. You stood there for a long period of time debating. I mean, this is actually after you went out to the car and came back in, out to the car. And your mom was out there, I think, the last time too. And she goes, I'm just leaving. I'm just going to leave. And she did. And I go, yeah, we'll just take it from there. And then you sat there looking out at the parking lot.
The Habit.
At the Habit, like just looking across with this look on your face, getting ready to just walk away and say, I'm not done.
Yeah.
And it was just a weird...
I remember being so fucking mad, dude. I remember being so pissed. And the one thing you said was you told me to figure it out. And then you walked away. And then I see Greg's happy ass walk up. And then that's Greg is like the guy that got me in.
Yeah.
Because like he kind of like, he was like, what's going on? I was like, I got $17 in my checking account. I can go get a bottle of vodka and a Pepsi, and I'm going to walk home, And he was just like, that sounds dumb, dude. Like, why don't you just come in? And he's just smiling the whole time, and he got me to go inside, dude. I remember standing at the podium and just telling everyone that was in there at the time. I still remember who was in there, and just being like, I don't want to be here. This sucks, But like I said, I knew, like deep down, I knew it was my last opportunity. If I wanted to stay, like not like I was going to go die, but like if I wanted to get sober around here with Surf City Recovery, it was my last opportunity. I knew that. And it took me like a day and a half to kind of like just sleep it off, get clear headed, realize that I'm where I'm at right now. And then I started making moves, I had enough willingness to reach out to someone that I asked to sponsor me, and he took me through the steps.
Pretty cool stuff. So you're trying to get in shape?
Yeah, I started eating right.
What's up with that?
What did I call it?
Legumes. Legumes.
And,
Legumes? Or wait, what is it? How do you really pronounce that?
Legumes.
Legumes?
I think so.
I started eating
Ligaments. Gotta have some ligaments. Yeah. I gotta do that too. I should probably be eating better too. I've got like...
Chat GPT, like, hey, this is where I'm at. This is how much I weigh, how old I am, how tall I am.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to get to this. What do I do?
Yeah.
Limited exercise. Put that in there.
Right. Limit. Well, I mean, you got basketball and skateboarding.
Yeah, I just gotta get out and skate like 3 times a week. And we got the gym membership here
Right.
for all the guys, and you can just go in and sign in and hit that.
So, I mean, we had a pretty good day skateboarding the other day. I was kind of, I felt pretty good. I was a little bit sore.
Short, though. It was a short day of skating.
I think that was
30
good.
minutes.
That was like a good break-in, like the other day, because I hadn't skated in a while.
The sun comes out, you skate around like noon, you get all sweaty.
I know.
You're out there a couple hours.
Yeah. The only thing was the video guy. It was all done in like slow motion. At least the videos that I saw, everything was like slow motion. I guess, but I mean, you don't film in slow motion, do you? I don't know.
There's probably some type of camera that does, but
Like you just like the whole time is slow motion. It's like time lapse photography or something.
yeah.
So what about you? Are you thinking about getting in shape now that Andrew's going to?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Huh?
Sometimes I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and I'm just like, God damn.
What happened, huh? Well, I mean, you were like,
What
you know,
happened?
Taco Bell. We were talking about that. It's like, it's when you guys lived together, there was a lot of
Co-signing.
co-signing each other's bullshit when it came to food. Taco Bell. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
how about?
Now I'll see a commercial. I'm like,
I can't even believe you know what I did like at Taco Bell? I mean, of all the places, Taco Bell, their food sucks, right? I mean, yeah. I
Easy
shouldn't
now.
even say that because their Mexican pizza,
I knew you were gonna say that.
the Mexican
Everyone
pizza,
talks about the Mexican pizza, dude.
they don't have it anymore. Do they still have it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but if you make your own quesadilla, it's way better. Their cheese sucks.
But that's the part, making it. That's the part
a
that sucks.
quesadilla. Quesadilla is super rad. What about so you're gonna get in shape. That means you're gonna start working out, do some crunching.
We talk about it, but the fact of actually doing it's probably.
Right. That's like another part of recovery, right?
you can easily like cross addiction, start eating like shit, or spending all your money on stuff, or all that type of thing.
Right.
You gotta make sure you're feeling good, and then just using food as fuel, not like buying junk.
Junk. Was sugar addiction's pretty gnarly, huh? Yeah, I was bad. I swear the older you get, the more you crave. After you eat like certain foods, you're craving sugar. Like the sugar craving's real. It's a thing. I guess he's got back problems.
That's why I gotta start moving more.
So what about the spiritual side of recovery? What does that look like in your life today compared to what it used to be like?
I mean, before it was non-existent completely.
Yeah.
Now it's prayer, but it could be more.
Mm-hmm.
Exploring church and trying to strengthen a relationship with God. I think that's the goal. When it comes down to like at the end of the day, it's you and God, and that's supposed to be your defense against getting loaded again.
I think one of the greatest parts of my sobriety was, I think it was about. Oh, it's because he's not talking in it very.
Just like this. I'm just like,
Was it? Go back. Okay. Let me try. Go ahead. Talk into it. Talk. Yeah, talk.
just talking quiet.
Now watch that thing right there. Now watch me talk. Hey, so now, like when I'm talking right there like that, you see that?
Same level.
Same. No, you do it now.
All right, now I'm doing it. It's not there. It's off.
Now I'm doing it. Mine's there.
Check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plug.
Is it?
It's gotta be. Jack unplugged me when he was over there stretching out.
Shit.
Oh yeah, something. What is that?
Pin the blame on me. Rich unplugged it for mine.
How come it's not even plugged in the whole time?
Plugged in this whole time.
It's not even plugged in the whole time. So hey, like we're super dumb. Hey, it wasn't even plugged in the whole time.
38 minutes.
30 minutes. 38
Here for
minutes
38
of talking.
minutes?
You didn't,
It
did
goes
you
fast.
hear him before?
Yeah. Maybe I just.
That is the weirdest thing ever. I can't even believe that.
Stick with us, folks.
Stick with us, folks. We'll figure it out in a couple years. By the time we're, how come there's I put something else in.
I think I'm gonna bring the detox dumbbells to the office now.
Okay, go ahead.
Why?
Now
Oh.
do that.
Yeah, it might be on my
Jack,
desk. Look in
Hey,
there.
look, speak into it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Check.
Man, it took you that long?
Just gotta eat right.
Well, I heard some of Andrew's responses.
Just gotta start eating white. I'm gonna go buy some ligmus and quinoa. Have you ever had quinoa before?
I never
It's
had.
like- it's like little
I hate
seeds or
quinoa.
something.
Yeah,
Does it?
Does it?
It looks like
it's like eating brown rice. Worse than brown rice.
Brown rice is good.
Yeah, it
Brown
looks
rice
like
sucks.
it looks like it tastes terrible.
The
We're
yeah.
gonna try it. It's hard when you got the chick like making lasagna. What else does she make?
Yeah, the
Makes
what is
fucking- Not good for you.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
mac and cheese isn't good for
mashed
you.
potatoes.
So I'll tell you what we're gonna do now on the show. Like one of the things I've been because I know that I know. Hey, what's up?
You want to jump in?
You want to jump in? We're on live. We're live.
Oh, Theo.
Sure. But when we're not online, I do need to.
No, we're live on camera, not online.
You're not on the
We're doing it live.
We're doing live show.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I was just thinking that.
I love this.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Hi.
Everybody say hi. Let me put it on that camera right there. There you go. You can go in there. Oh, you got to step in a little bit closer.
She's not in. It's
You're not
camera
in it.
two,
Oh,
dude.
there it is. That's Cassidy, our intern therapist. She's incredibly awesome. Yeah.
Theo loves her.
Yeah, we got a great team right here. Yeah, we got Theo, we got Cassidy, we got Jack.
Whenever
Everybody's
someone
just
comes
killing
in.
the game right now. Yeah, we're just bullshitting. Yeah, we can put another mic up here if you want to get in.
I totally would love to, but I also there is something I do need to talk to one of you.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'm
All
on,
right.
I'm in.
Okay, you're in. Go talk to.
Privately.
Go
and then
talk to,
and then I will totally come back.
Okay, yeah, got it. The you know what's weird is that there was another mic that was picking up
Andrew's audio.
Andrew's audio. So look, like even if we go like this, look. Like when see the camera now? Let's see, hold on. Oh wait. Where are you at? What? Okay, there it is right there. Hold on. I'm gonna go like this. Hey, look at that guy. Huh? What camera is that? There you go. See, look, you're on camera. I'm gonna grab another microphone. So tell us a little bit about your path to recovery.
I mean, I can get into it, but it was just in and out of treatment and unwillingness for a long time. Lot of like what you said, cart before the horse, like get into treatment and then like around 30, 60 days being like, I need to get an apartment, hop on the app, start meeting the girls. And like, that became more important. And then, you know, going to like 3 meetings a week, 2 meetings a week. And then eventually it was just my head start telling me like, AA is dumb. I don't need it.
AA's dumb.
I don't need it. It's
Yeah.
not really doing anything. It's kind of bullshit. And then, you know, I'd finish treatment, leave treatment, get the apartment, get the girls, like all that stuff. And then I'd get loaded like fucking not even 2 weeks later, dude.
Yeah.
Just
That's kind
real
of the thing.
fucking fast.
That's like a problem in when you're young and you really have no real like motivation other than just being young. What's it like?
I remember being like, so going back to like not having, you know, my dad in my life, my grandpa was in my life and he taught me and my brother how to play baseball, like took us there, like practice pitching and stuff. And like, I remember him getting so mad multiple times, like yelling, like, you can't teach Jack anything. You can't tell Jack anything. And he'd storm off into his car. And I related to the same thing in like early recovery, being like hearing all the, you know, old timers be like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I go, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Don't need that. And then it's kind of that same thing that's carried on in my life even to today. But like I'm definitely better at taking suggestions and being open-minded.
So tell us about your grandfather.
What do you want to know about
How did
him?
he play a big role in your life?
So growing up, it was like I said, it was me, my mom, and my brother. You know, dad wasn't around. I was born in Huntington Beach, lived here for the first 2 years of my life with my mom and my dad. And then my dad was a meth guy doing meth, and he wouldn't stop. And my mom moved me and my brother from Huntington to Aliso Viejo to be closer with my grandparents who lived in what's called Laguna Woods now. And so it was like, you know, we were primarily raised by my grandparents. You know, we'd go to school, grandpa would pick us up, go to their house after till my mom got off work at 6 and that kind of stuff. And, you know, he was an old school LAPD lieutenant. So, yeah, it was a lot of
LAPD lieutenant.
came from a cop
Did he
family.
work like out on the force, like?
Yeah, he's told me some gnarly stories, dude.
Okay, well this mic's working. Yeah,
I come from a family of law enforcement. It's kind of fucking weird.
a family of law enforcement.
Uncle was a LAPD lieutenant. Uncle was a cop. His wife was a cop.
Wow.
Brothers in the Navy.
You know what? You kind of look like a cop.
I should have became a cop.
You should have became a cop, dude. You kind of have a cop look.
You seen those videos of the cops that get pulled over for DUI by
Uh-huh.
another officer?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, by another officer. Yeah, you kind of got a cop look going there. You
I
kind of
could've-
look like the all-American guy that turns into a cop for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very diverse. There's, we have the, nowadays there is no such thing as a type. I don't think for a cop. But
Yeah.
do you ever have ever been mistaken for a cop?
I went to go buy a vape from a vape shop, and the guy wouldn't tell me that he had them, and I knew he had them.
Oh, because it was illegal.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, what were you doing?
I walked in. I go, hey, where are your disposables? He goes, we don't have them. And Andrew bought one like 2 days prior.
Right.
And I go, I know you guys have them. He's like, we don't have them. And I go, really? He goes, yeah. I go, all right. I walked out just defeated.
Right. And
Oh,
he was,
fuck,
he
I was
was
looking at what I
thinking
was-
you're looking like an
Yeah, I
FBI
was
guy,
like, damn it.
undercover.
I gotta look a little bit more rough to buy a fucking vape.
Right. You gotta look a little bit more sketch.
No, but my family was like, my family's a bunch of like squares, dude.
Really?
No one. My mom's never smoked weed, drinks alcohol rarely. Grandparents never, dabbled with that kind of stuff. Uncle never did it. Me and my brother were the first ones really to start like experimenting with drugs and alcohol.
Blame it on Aliso Viejo.
Fucking Aliso, dude.
It's just Aliso, not called Aliso
No, it's
Viejo.
Aliso Viejo.
Oh, it is. Okay.
But and then my brother, he got his shit together. He partied, and then right when he turned 17 and graduated, he was in the Navy. He was in boot camp when he was 17.
Really?
Yeah. And then I stuck around and didn't really have any direction to go to, so I just kept partying and kept drinking. And I thought life was just get a job, work that job, and then live life. But then I realized you can't live a life on $16 an hour. Aliso Viejo at least, without living at mom's house.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I guess the most difficult thing for guys. There's a saying about failure to thrive.
Yeah.
And failure to launch really is essentially the two words. They're kind of two buzzwords that go hand in hand with each other, because a lot of times young men growing up and they get introduced early to smoking weed, drinking alcohol, skateboarding, surfing, just kind of a lifestyle choice that's made, basically becomes this handicap in terms of personal growth and maturing. Like you said, your brother got out of high school, and it's always the case too. There's like two different, you're in the same household, same set of circumstances, and one brother gets out, goes out and makes something of himself right away. The other one is kind of lost. Now, if you looked at your personality types and you had to like kind of share about that, because that is a big challenge for parents to try to understand, okay, so how'd this child come out this way and how'd this child come out this way? We basically raised them with the exact same information. What do you think was the big difference between you and your brother in terms of personality, friends? Because he's the guy that kind of introduced you to drinking, right?
Yeah.
And you guys bonded over drinking.
Yeah.
But then why do you think you went into a whole nother direction? Just based on what you've learned, what do you think that would be?
I mean, I've always, from a very young age, I always knew me and my brother were very different. I was more like, I don't want to say nonconformist, but he was more like that typical high school guy, going to the gym, running track, like, let's lift weights, let's go to the party on Friday night. And me, I was more like, let's go skate, let's hang around. Like, I got my core group of friends, and I don't fuck with anyone else in high school.
Right.
And I don't know, it was kind of, growing up, I was kind of like, not a fly on the wall, but before he left for the Navy, it was a lot of, not trauma, but turmoil with him and my mom, and I would like hear them screaming matches, fighting in the room. Sorry, Mom. And I'd be on the couch just listening to it.
At a young, how much older is he than you?
He's only 3 years.
Okay.
But he was, 17, and they'd fight. Like, when me and my mom fight, it's not the same as when they used to fight. They used to get in like screaming matches, to the point where I thought he would hit her. He
Right.
never would, and he never did. But like, that's what was going through my head. Like, oh, they're fucking screaming at each other. I'm just sitting in the living room, just listening to it,
Yeah.
And my brother's more outspoken. He's more confident. He's more articulate. Where me, I'm more reserved. I'm more kind of like sheltered and kind of like
Reserved.
if there's a problem, I'll bottle it up.
Right.
My brother faces it head on.
Right.
you
Okay.
know,
So
and,
it's hard to kind of even address those types of personality traits. Would you say?
Like, what do you mean?
Well, just even like kind of your identifying where our defects are or our flaws. Not even the defects or flaws. It's just our personality, and they impact us, and especially when we're comparing ourselves to our siblings. Right.
Yeah.
That's like a tough thing to do, and that's kind of like one of the catalysts, I guess you could say, that when you find alcohol and you find some escape, and you actually it's kind of more like a relief, right, and a release from this character that you're either sometimes happy with and sometimes not happy with because you're comparing yourself to your other siblings.
Yeah.
And then so to be able to share about that now after so much sobriety, that's one of those difficult things. Most people don't want to admit that, hey, listen, I had some issues personally growing up, and through adolescence, it can become extremely difficult to live with.
Yeah. I remember too in like junior year, that's when it's like I kind of withdrew junior year when I was like 17.
Yeah.
I started withdrawing from people.
Yeah.
I was the guy walking around the campus in high school with my headphones in, not talking to anyone,
Right.
you know? And then, I had like 3 core friends, and that's when we started ditching school. And like all, like as a group, we all withdrew ourselves from like the school.
Right.
You know, one guy went to Sarah, which is like a continuation school in San Juan Capistrano. You know, a couple guys went there. I did Fresh Start at Dana Hills, where like I had to go once a week, get a packet, do it at home, bring it in.
Yeah.
And that enabled me to graduate high school, but it also enabled me to have a lot of time on my own hands to kind of do what I wanted to do. Didn't really set me up for success, if that makes sense. It just got me to graduate high school.
But you did.
I did.
Graduating high school is a difficult task.
Dude, bless my mom. I was a senior, and I had like probably 4 months left of high school, and I was telling them I was dropping out. And I couldn't do it anymore. I didn't want to do it anymore. Just like angry, depressed at the world, you know? And she fought tooth and nail with the counselor there, and they got me into that Fresh Start program, you know? And that's what enabled me to graduate high school.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But
so how difficult was it for your mom growing up? I mean, she had to deal with, sounds like your brother 3 years prior to you in age, and all his adolescent, childhood stuff that he had to go through. So she was dealing with that, and then she just got another right after he left. Now you're becoming of age, because by the time you're 17, he's 20 and out of the house, right?
Oh yeah, he was out of the house at 17 right away. Never came back.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I do a panel with my mom at this treatment center I went through a few years ago. We do it, maybe every 4 months.
Yeah.
And it's like a family group thing, and I'm learning a lot about what I put her through.
Yeah.
But bless her heart, dude. She has not gotten a break. You know,
Yeah.
From the time when I was a little kid, like 3-4 years old, I used to throw gnarly tantrums where she'd have to fucking restrain me because I was breaking shit. And I didn't know why I was doing it. I was just angry. It was, because no dad, none of that stuff, not like confused. And then she deals with me and my brother in high school. And then she deals with me for fucking 5 more years, in and out of treatment centers trying to save me until she realized that she can't save me. And that's when she started helping herself. And now she's dealing with my grandma. My grandma's moved back in, and now she's trying to take care of her. And, I put a lot of turmoil and stress on my mom, but not like co-signing or saying it's okay, but she had her own journey with it to the point where she had to realize that she couldn't save me either. And I think that's finally what catapulted me into long-term recovery, was her cutting me off, dropping me off here and telling me to figure it out and grow the fuck up. Because I knew I couldn't manipulate her anymore and go back home after 9 months. I knew
when you're dealing with guys, and now that you're a case manager, you're working with guys who kind of, is there a common theme about your life and their lives? Do you see that a lot, where there's a lot of similarities in the way you treated your mom and the way you treated your family, and versus how, is it something you can like connect with young clients or any client that has that? Do you see that as being like a common thread or a common theme?
I mean, everyone's a unique case, man. It's like, I definitely do see it. Like I'll see some clients like, call their mom for a vape or something, give me $20 for a vape. And then like mom does it, tries to ask any other question. They go, no, I just need money. Like, I get short with them and irritable. And I'm just like, I was the same fucking way, same way with my mom. And, I think everyone, it's a 2-sided recovery for sure. There's the addict needs to recover, and the family needs to recover too, because it's a codependent type relationship deal where, and also we get the cases too where like some parents don't even want to fuck with their kids in here. They're at that point where they're like, I'm done, and then that, it's just a whole thing. It's a whole spectrum that you kind of have to gauge each individual case with.
One of the things that I've kind of noticed, that even like listening and being part of your life at this point, and Andrew's and all the guys that come through here, I noticed that a lot of us, and this isn't everybody's case, but a lot of us are kind of fall into that like mama's boy syndrome, where as much as we were, I guess you could say, what do you say when you're mean to your parent? You're mean to your mom. You're what's a way of? I mean, how would you describe being
Nasty.
disrespectful and I guess combative and resistant to any ideas that they have? Especially when they're like trying to not criticize you, but constructively help you navigate life.
Yeah.
But we seem to go into this. I think I know it all. Don't tell me what to do. But there's this dependency on them and this love for them that there's a very common thing that I notice with a lot of guys, because I know for a fact you're fall in line with that too. Like,
well, it's like
kind of
don't try to tell me what to do, but be there when I need something. You know.
Yeah, I do. I get that.
Yeah, it's
that's
like don't try to tell me what to do, but as soon as I need something, you be up there and you pick up the fucking phone right away.
I swear, even at my age right now, my mom, bless her heart, she's 85, right? And she still, to this day, every time, whether it's business related, relationship related, any finance, if I spend money, if I do this, she's still correcting me and trying to tell me.
Yeah.
Now, as much as I love and I'm dependent and like on this relationship that I have with my mom, and that, like I said, I had that mama's boy. And I've always been that way. I've always felt that connection to my mom. But there were times when I was so disrespectful, so rude, so, completely out of line at every level. But yet still this deep-seated need and relationship with my mom. It really kind of, when you get sober, how much does that play a role in correcting your behavior? And what can other parents look forward to?
I don't know. I mean, it's still kind of like, I was thinking about when you're talking, that mama boy syndrome's still there. Like, I still try to, it's not so much taking from my mom. Now it's like kind of overly giving, if that makes sense, which I should be doing, I think.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'll do it. Like this past weekend, my mom went to Vegas. She needed a trip. She needed a break. So I went, I stayed with my grandma, and I told my mom, like, dude, going forward, like, I'll come over any weekend and just like, so you can have a date, even if you don't have plans, just to give yourself a break. And my girlfriend's like, you need to live your life too. And I'm just like, I gotta help her out, like I gotta help my mom. And it's just about being there for her now. It's now I'm not the problem anymore. She's got other problems, and it's how can I help her with those problems. So it's calling her, not every day, but I talk to my mom every other day on the phone. And that was like a big thing, was like, I used to feel so awkward calling my mom and being like, hey, how's it going? Like, it was a weird barrier thing. Like, I couldn't just call my mom and ask her how her day's going. Something blocked me from it. And past year and a half, I've been doing it. Like, don't call her for anything. Don't ask for anything. I just call her and ask her how she's doing. And more times than not, she's not doing good. She's struggling with my grandma. And I'll just sit on the phone with her for like 30 minutes and just talk to her, let her vent it out, then offer assistance, And that's kind of, it's not about me anymore. Like, I'm doing good. I got everything I need right now. It's about being of service to her, paying back, like making that living amends to her, paying back all the fucking trauma I put on her for a long time.
I know that's like probably the greatest gift that you can give back to your family is your sobriety, your recovery, and the personality, the new person that you are today.
And it feels fucking great too. It's not like, it feels amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. So what about let's just switch gears from like boring stuff like recovery for a minute. What time is it? You got somewhere to go?
No, I don't got anywhere to be.
You got nowhere to go. Hey, so if you're out there right now, let's see. We're in Huntington Beach, right? So we're in Huntington Beach. Jack's hitting his vape. Look. So I'm going to be running this show. I think we're still on Facebook. So if there's anybody that knows where our facility is and wants to get on the show right now, I want to see if somebody's willing to walk into the door right now, just to kind of like do it. Like, you know what I mean? Because everybody wants to be on like a podcast or whatever. I feel like even though it's something as like, amateurish as ours, but I feel like it's important to kind of put it out there. If you got a story, you think there's something you want to share about, and you want to just enlighten us with some information that you have about recovery, something you do, come on down. And there's an empty seat right here. We want to kind of get you on the show, get you out there, and hopefully you can inspire somebody to find the courage to make the change in their life that will help restore their relationships with their family, restore the relationships with their loved ones and their children and their moms and dads. And so I'll just throw that out there really quick. But there's so much going on in the world. Do you pay attention to politics or anything with this new administration? What thoughts on that?
Here and there. I mean, not too much. This is like, I was thinking about, this is kind of my test run right now. I'm clear headed finally. And, you know, I got a bunch of friends that I try not to make, one thing that bothers me is that like a lot of people can't have like, just like be okay. Like, I mean, maybe they can, because, you know, we live in a digital world and all we see are videos on Instagram and shit.
Right.
And you just see people arguing about it.
Oh, I know.
So it's like when you see argument, I don't want no part of it. I don't like confrontation. I'm withdrawing myself from it. But there are times where you can have debates and talk about it. But I don't know. This is kind of like my test run of like, all right, I'm going to see what this happens these next 4 years, and then see if like one side's really
well. I mean, even just now, like in the last 30 days, what do you think? You must have heard about the new DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What's your first thought? First thought comes to your head.
I hope I get $5,000. I can use it.
Yeah, everybody's like, wait a minute, $5,000? I love Doge. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know what to think of it. At first, I think it's weird that someone that's not a government employee is in all these like shit, but then at the same time, it's always being combated by the other side, right?
What do you mean not a government employee?
Like Elon, he's not a government employee. He's not part of Congress or nothing like that.
No, but he's hired by
he's hired by him, but he's
just like the places
he makes cars,
all the
spaceships.
Well, I mean, same with anybody that works in bureaucracy. If you're hired, all those departments, all those places that they're going through, those are not government. I mean, they're government employees, but they're not voted or elected.
But like going back to like
so
where like you see on the news like, oh, there's 300-year-olds like getting Social Security.
What do you think of that? That's crazy.
But then you see the other side go, that's not true. And then they post like evidence that that's not true. But then they post evidence that it is true, and it's like I don't know who the fuck to believe.
Right. You know, that is the part that's confusing.
It's there's always a but. You know, there's always a but. Here's this, and so it's kind of just like I not well adversed in it to speak on it, but but
it's fun to
I keep a distance,
have
and
an
look
opinion
at it.
about and get people riled up on. I think that it's fun. Like I think like there's a we have there's a prayer we say called the set aside prayer. God, please help me set aside everything I think I know about my disease, about these steps, and especially you, for an open mind and a new experience with myself, my disease, and especially you. Right. So that is the same way, like being able to set aside everything I think I know so I can have an open mind and I can have a new experience. I think that that's something. I remember growing up as a kid, everybody used to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't even know if they do that in schools anymore, do they? I'm interested, do they? And but there's a line and it says, indivisible. Wait a minute, this is, how does it go? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. So one.
Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica. So you think of Metallica when you think of that song, right? Yeah. So pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, like undividable, right? We're supposed to be undividable. We're supposed to show that united we stand, right?
Yeah.
Divided we fall, that concept. So what I think my biggest challenge of the American public right now, and I look at Facebook and I look at my friends on Facebook, and God bless them for having passion about one side or the other, posting information one way or the other is super bold. I know today people face a lot of criticism, coming out as a Christian, coming out as a Republican, coming out as a Trump person, admitting that you're, whether you are a liberal. Nowadays, there's so much scrutiny that comes with that. It's like super... to me, that is probably the greatest threat to our society, is that concept right there, that you are being judged and you are being slammed and you are being literally people are trying to shame you, guilt you into thinking the way they think. And I think that that is a bigger threat than either side as agenda, even though, I mean, I definitely lean a moderate in terms of politics, but I identify with as a liberal in a lot of sense because I am in recovery and I've been through all kinds of I don't know, I've just I think in the beginning it was like, oh yeah, I was a Republican as a kid growing up because my family was Republican. Then I joined a union. I became a union member, and I
Yeah.
just started voting. And I just go whatever direction that group of people were who I was associating with. Then I became what they became, and that's just the same way as with alcohol and drugs.
I think it's true what you said about divided we fall. Like that's, and it's probably not like that out in the real world, but at least on social media, that's all you see. If you like, I'm part of the Huntington Beach like forum page, the community page, and like
Oh, yeah?
I just read comments sometimes, dude, and it's just people attacking each other.
Yeah, that's the part
You know,
that's
and
so
it's just
wrong.
like you gotta like realize that like divided, whether which side you lean on, if you're attacking the other side, if you're left attacking the right or right attacking the left, it's not good.
Yeah,
It's not us versus them, right? We're together in this. It's our country. We're together. We gotta like
I know. I don't understand like why, and I feel like the biggest. That's my biggest thing that I struggle with is how come we just can't be like set aside everything you think you know. And I've always said this: I reserve the right to change my mind at any given time based on a new set of information that will alter my belief system and, more importantly, alter or impact the way I feel about a situation. And I think that that's the thing that we have to allow.
You got sober in 2005.
2005.
So I don't know if you were, maybe you were, but because you're still running and gunning around then. But I wish I was alive and old enough around 9/11 to, because from what I've heard in the documentaries and like the podcasts I've listened to is like we became so connected after that. Like it was like America number, like everyone was so patriotic, after 9/11. And it wasn't like us versus them, left versus right anymore. It was like America's one, from what I've heard. And if it was truly like that, I wish I would have gone to experience that. Because growing up at this day and age, since I can remember, it's us versus them. It's left versus right.
Yeah.
And it's not like a community sense, if that makes sense. It's more of like a battle within our country.
Yeah, I think that
And like
was kind of a catalyst for a minute there. It really became like this thing where, it's kind of crazy because what you're saying, I felt that and experienced that, but I also, outside of the moon landing information, where that I guess you could say it's either John F. So before there used to be Bigfoot, John F. Kennedy, the Kennedy assassination, and the moon landing, and UFOs were kind of the predominant conspiracies that were out there. I think, and is at least, and then obviously, who built the pyramids? Those were the things that we were constantly trying to battle with or understand or conceptualize these ideas that were being presented. And then you have 9/11 incident take place, and like you said, it brought everybody together in a sense of, look, this is the first time I think that the United States had to deal with a threat, somebody attacking the United States, and that's what we were kind of introduced to, was that, hey, somehow somebody orchestrated this, I guess Osama bin Laden, or they were organized, and they basically initiated the largest, most, you could say, unbelievable strike against the greatest superpower in the world.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to us, they pulled 3 incidences, maybe even 4 off, if you count building number 7. But what happened to me is, after seeing that, I immediately, there was a new real conspiracy going on where people really started getting divided on the facts of who, what, how, where, and when, and most importantly, why this event took place. And then you see the aftermath of that, 20 years of war, and there's so much information on that. And that became not just the catalyst in the beginning for what you said, but it also became, I think, the beginning of a new catalyst of division that really formulated, where people started becoming and questioning, what's going on, buddy? Questioning media. No, what time is it right now? You're on air. Oh, is that your turn? All right, Jack's got to go. You want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Anyway, so getting back to what I was
10
talking
minutes.
about. Oh, you got 10 minutes, yeah. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Because that was interesting, right? What I just got done saying was kind of
growing
true,
up,
right?
like I was at that age. Now I'm old enough to. That's all I heard was, we did it. It was a fucking. We go in there, get the oil.
Oh, right. So you heard all that. So that became the next
I was
thing,
old
right?
enough to experience that.
That, right.
South Park, dude.
South Park.
But I don't know.
Yeah, that's your
I don't
education
know what to
system.
believe. I chose not to focus on it. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with the space lane. I find the pyramids very interesting, but it's the same thing with like the space lane. It doesn't benefit me. It's fun to think about and talk about, but I'm not like a very big conspiracy person. I don't waste my thoughts on it because one, I'll never get the answer,
Yeah.
and two, it's just fun to talk about. The pyramids I will talk about because like that's like holy shit, how does that happen? Like
Yeah.
the space landing, is it real? Is it fake? Did they film it? Like I don't know or care.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
honestly, the 9/11 thing, I choose to focus more on like what happened instead of like who was behind it because I can have my opinions on it, but the fact remains is that a lot of people were killed and a lot of families were destroyed, and so it's kind of like I want that connection. I want that connection, that happiness. Which, like I said, I live in a digital world. I grew up when iPhones came out and stuff. So like my life, I'm out in the world, but a lot of what I see is through a fucking phone screen.
Right.
And that's not the real fucking world. The real world's when you get out there and you walk around, you talk to people, you go, oh, people are friendly. People are nice. It's not always divided.
You know what's really interesting too is like when you get into recovery, there's this theme about having shared in a common peril as being one of the elements, one of the powerful elements in the cement that binds us, meaning that we have recovered from that seemingly state of hopeless mind and body. And for that reason, we can set aside these differences in whether you're a liberal, a Republican, whether you're moderate, whether you're conservative, whether you believe in the moon landing or believe in the earth is flat, whatever it is, right? You can set aside those differences and accept and love and help that person regardless. And I think that that's probably one of the greatest gifts that we have going for us in the recovery community is those are outside issues. Our only purpose is to try to help other people who are suffering from their addiction get better and not die and not destroy their family. Politics and questions about whether where the chicken came first or the egg doesn't really make any sense to us, and we have to like learn how to really separate that. And I think that that's really a powerful gift that we get from recovery that other people don't get that.
It's fun to talk about that shit when you're like watching the UFC fights on a Saturday night.
I love
eating
it.
pizza. That's when it's fun
Fuck
to talk
yeah.
about. And
It's the
even like
shit.
right now it is.
It is.
But
I'm hoping somebody walks through the door that's got like an opinion on
they're
it. and
just
goes,
fucking
like
fired up.
Somebody that knows about it comes in and just like tells us what time it is.
Like ready to go.
Yeah, I got a couple friends that like I want to bring on. They're like got a lot of history and a lot of information about different of some of those topics that I love.
Like the bottom line is I don't know shit.
Yeah.
So I'd like to be that fly on the wall again and listen to like people talk about it and have facts thrown at me and then have people counter those facts and and really just listen to like two people who know what they're talking about talk about it.
Right.
And not argue, but talk about it. I think that's important too, is to have two people that can control their emotions and just have a discussion.
So really quick, we're going to kind of wrap up the show. What is the most important thing today in your recovery that you're trying to implement? Anything that you want to highlight, that's something you're trying to re-engage, reaffirm, reclaim, and what does that sound like really quick?
I mean, at this point in my recovery, it's just maintaining what I'm doing, but also my relationships with people, growing. That's like I was talking about earlier, like having that block, like I couldn't ask my mom how she was doing, that barrier. Even with my girlfriend today, like we get in a fight, like doing that 10th step, admitting when I'm wrong, having a conversation with her. I have this weird thing where like when I'm pressured with a time to be vulnerable, a barrier gets put up and I physically cannot get it down. And so right now in my recovery, it's working on that, bettering my relationship with people, growing up mentally, if that makes sense. Like really admitting when I'm wrong, having a conversation that forces me to be vulnerable and like that kind of shit. That makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
That's where I'm at now, because I used to just throw shit under the rug all the time. If it made me uncomfortable, I didn't want to deal with it, under the rug, bottle it up, not talking about it. Put it to the side, leave. But now it's like facing that kind of stuff head on. If me and my lady get in a fight, sitting down, talking about it, letting her say what I'm doing that's pissing her off, and then, making my side of the street clean, like really doing that. That's something I've neglected my whole life.
Wow.
I never had father figure, anything like that. So I think that's kind of where it stems from, is like growing up and kind of facing adversaries. What is it?
Adversity.
Facing adversity head on.
Nice. Let's face adversity head on. You guys, I want to just say goodbye. Thank everybody for tuning in, and look for us. Like, subscribe, share this video if there's some content in here that means something to you. We're going to be out here again. I think we're going to be back here tomorrow doing some more content. So join us kind of like at the same time. Just look for us. We're not going to put a schedule up there. I had that schedule. If you need help with recovery, give us a call. There's the number below. If you want to get into detox, we've got a 6-bed facility for you. We also got outpatient and sober living, residential. We kind of got it all. If you're looking to connect with us, just please give us a shout out, man, and share this. And you guys have a great rest of the day. Love everybody. And don't get mad at your friends for believing in different politics or religions or anything like that. Just love everybody. That's the code. All right. Have a great rest of the day. Goodbye. There it is. Look at that. Sober Voyager podcast sponsored by you know who, SCR, Surf City Recovery. There it is. Look at that logo. It's so awesome. Check us out. We're going to get some merch for you soon. So that way we can try to, present the Voyager. All right. Thanks, Jack. Have a